In the eyes of many, political debate in Australia has taken an ugly turn, but it's tame by comparison to what's going on in the United States. In American politics, compromise has become a dirty word. It's led to Congress being shut down 3 times since 2010 and the US economy being pushed perilously close to default. Now, 2 of Washington's most respected analysts have laid the blame squarely at the feet of the Republican Party. North America correspondent Michael Brissenden reports.
In 2008, Barack Obama came to power promising change. But changing the nation has been more difficult than even he might have thought it was going to be. And part of the reason is the real transformation in American politics has been happening on the other side.
It is about the direction of the Republican Party. It is about the direction of our country.
Richard Murdoch is the latest Tea Party hero. His recent victory in the Indiana Republican primary over the 36-year veteran of the Senate, Richard Lugar, is more evidence of the shifting political expectations of the Republican Party faithful.
Hoosier Republicans want to see the Republicans inside the United States Senate take a more conservative track, and we're looking forward to helping them do that.
Murdoch's opponent, Richard Lugar, was an old-school Republican willing to reach across the political aisle.
I congratulate Richard Murdoch on his victory in a hard-fought race.
It's an approach that no longer fits the mould.
Richard Murdoch was successful because he's in concert with the zeitgeist of the times. The definition of compromise in Washington has been to just grow the government and keep raising taxes and increase spending. And I think we're saying we're not going to compromise and continue to dig the hole deeper.
One of the hallmarks of the Obama era has been the growth of the angry Tea Party protests, fired up by their opposition to the healthcare law, the growing debt, and the consequences of a financial crisis caused largely by the actions of an under-regulated banking sector. Their anger has been directed at Washington, the political establishment, and particularly at Barack Obama. The politics has become intensely personal.
When you have the pressure of somebody as liberal as Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, the leader in the House, and Harry Reid in the Senate, they push their members to the left. And it's been very destructive, and that's why the Democratic Party suffered such big defeats in 2010.
As the chief political strategist for the Tea Party Express, Sal Russo has been one of those directing and corralling this anger to get political results. The Republican Party has in turn embraced this passion and ridden it to an historic victory in the midterm congressional elections. But this new fraternalism has pushed the grand old party, as it's known, into some brand new territory.
The Republicans have really gone off the rails. It's a cult, and if you stray and seem to be friendly to the enemy, then you have no future in the party. Given our structure of government, that's a formula for dysfunction, and that's what we have now.
Thomas Mann works for the Brookings Institution, a centre-left liberal organisation. Just around the corner, his friend and collaborator Norm Ornstein works for the American Enterprise Institute, a hotbed of intellectual support for the centre-right. Their new book is called It's Even Worse Than It Looks, and it's blown the lid off the usually staid and predictable world of political punditry.
This was not an easy thing for us to do. I have spent 40 years building a reputation as somebody who's not got an axe to grind.
The thesis that underpins their new book is that during the financial crisis, a period of national emergency, Republicans have become more loyal to their party than to the country. They cite last year's debt ceiling crisis when Congress pushed the country close to default as a case in point. The party, they say, has become an insurgent outlier, ideologically extreme, scornful of compromise, and unpersuaded by conventional understanding of facts, evidence and science.
Now, Mitt Romney, in his record, is no crazy right-winger, but look at the positions he's taken. His position on immigration is right where the most extreme figures, Sheriff Arpaio, Russell Pierce in Arizona, have been. He's decided to say that climate change is a hoax and you can't trust scientists. The litmus test you have to pass now, put the Republican Party outside the normal boundaries of American politics.
But I was a severely conservative Republican governor.
For Australians used to a robust parliamentary system, this extreme polarisation may seem almost normal. But here, in a system balanced between President and Congress, Ornstein and Mann argue it's been something of a shock. The Republicans, of course, say Democrats are the ones who need to compromise. The result, though, as we've seen, has been legislative stalemate.
What we saw was basically a partisan war in the midst of a national crisis precipitated by a Republican Party that was determined to make Obama a failed president, a one-term president. And, you know, if the country suffered a little along the way, they'd fix it up when they got back in the White House.
What both sides do agree on is that politics has shifted, and that even icons like Ronald Reagan would find modern politics hard to recognise.
It has moved so much in its core that if Ronald Reagan or somebody with a different name but having embodied Reagan's policies ran for the Republican nomination for president, he wouldn't get out of the starting gate because it's just not what's acceptable.
I know I've been hearing that, but frankly, I think I'd say the Democrats would never elect a John F. Kennedy, you know, one of my heroes. So, you know, times change and priorities change.
But here in the headquarters of the Tea Party Express and in Republican offices across the land, Ronald Reagan is still the pin-up of choice. He may not recognise the modern party, but the political formula does appear to be working, and he would certainly recognise that.